So, hello people! Welcome sa third lesson natin on effective communication, wherein pag-uusapan natin ang content at intent ng ating mga sinasabi. Kasi nga, napakalaki ng impact ng mga ito on our daily dialogue encounters. Just like this message. Sige nga, basahin ninyo. Then let's answer the guide questions on ourselves na lang, no? Ayan. So, what is the message saying? What might the sender actually mean? And is the tone positive, neutral, or negative? So, syempre, mag-iiba-iba tayo ng sagot dyan. Depende sa situation. Kaya nga sabi dito, sometimes people communicate more than the literal meaning of their words. What clues help us understand the real intent behind the message? Kayo ba? Ano yung naging clue ninyo or hint? Bakit niyo nasabing, ito yung content, ito yung intention, ay positive siya, neutral, or negative? No? Kasi at first glance, yung message na sabi niya, okay, no worries, I'll do it myself. It may sound calm, no? And understanding. Pero wait lang, no? Depende sa situation, no? Kasi it can also mean nakakainis, hindi ka na naman tumulong, parang ganon, may ganon siyang vibe, 'di ba? This is why ang pag-analyze ng communication is napaka-importante. Kasi people don't always say exactly what they feel, 'di ba? Sometimes the real message is hidden between the lines. Kaya nga may idiomatic expression tayo na reading between the lines. For example, your group mates ask for help, but nobody replies. Tapos ay magiging reply mo, 'di ba? Pwede siyang maging literal, 'di ba? Na okay, no worries, kaya to, parang gano'n lang siya, 'di ba? Pero pwede rin namang ang meaning niya is disappointed ka, frustrated, no? Feeling mo hindi ka naman sinusuport at unsupported ka na naman at this time, 'di ba? Kasi ikaw na naman yung bubuhat sa grupo, tama? Kaya nga, communication is about understanding the feelings and intentions behind these words. Ayun po siya. Let's explore this following communication content. So, it could be an instruction, it could be an opinion, an experience, a request, or an explanation. Para po sa instruction, ayan, ang nakasabi dyan, it's the actual information, ideas, facts, or message being communicated. So, kapag ang content natin sa instruction, matik, di ba? We are just parang providing the ideas, the facts, no, or the message, no, ng magiging natin, talastasan. Sabi na dito, it is the what of communication. Ano? Do? Ayan. So, the substance of what is said or written. And then, pag opinion naman, ayan, another content din siya. Pero this is a statement that expresses a personal belief, view, or judgment ng isang tao about a certain topic. And it reflects the communicator's perspective or POV rather than the objective fact. So, yung instruction, may objectivity siya. It's about facts. Pero yung opinions naman, it's about, ayan, personal perspective. No? Mas subjective ang kanyang dating. No? While the experience is personal accounts. Ayan, mga karanasan mo yan di ba? Mga kwento mo yan, sabi nga, di ba? Or narratives drawn from real life events. Kung bagay ikaw yung may first hand na experience sa mga to or touch, that's why mas alam mo siyang sabihin. No? It helps illustrate points and build connection with the audience. Ayan. And of course, a request. Ang pagkakaiba naman niya, it is a message that asks something. May hinihingi ka. It could be an action, it could be an information, it could be an assistance. No? So, these are directed at prompting a response from the receiver. Ayan. So, yung kausap mo, in-expect mo na may gagawin siya, may ibibigay siya sa'yo, or may itutulong siya sa'yo. Sa experience, nagkukwento no, ng mga sariling karanasan. Sa opinion, nagbibigay ka ng sarili mong kuro-kuro or ideya. Sa instruction, nagbibigay ka ng mga actual na information, facts, or sabi nga, ito yung what is being communicated. No? And sa explanation naman, sabi dito, what is being said, communication content focuses on the substance. Pag sinabing substance ang usapan natin, may rationale na, may mga reasoning na tayo. No? Nagbibigay na tayo ng mga kahulugan, no, nung message. Hindi lang natin siya basta tinanggap, but we need to interpret it and elaborate the message para ma-convey natin yung ating audience. So, sa madaling salita, ang content is simply, lang siya, the information being communicated. Ganun, no? What? Ayun yung tandaan natin. What is the message? No? Pwede siyang facts kung instruction siya. Pwede siyang belief kung opinion siya. Pwede siyang request kung may hinihingi siyang something. Pwede siyang explanations kung merong reasoning after. And of course, ayan, pwede siyang narration ng ating mga personal na experiences. No? So, without content, tandaan po natin, there is no message na i-analyze. No? For example, when your teacher says, submit your project on Friday, di ba? Siyempre, yung content nun is the deadline. Instruction siya. Kasi on Friday, sabi niya, di ba? Ayan. Pwede rin naman siyang request. No? Pero kasi, ang request, sabi nga natin, dapat may hinihingi muna siya. Dalawa kasi ang natin, di ba? Ang imperative natin, command and request. So, more on command siya. Kaya nasa instruction talaga siya. No? So, wag po tayong malilito sa dalawa. Okay naman kapag nag-post yung friend natin, tapos sabi niya sa post niya, I'm so tired of school requirements. Di ba? So, ang content niya ngayon is experience niya. 'Di ba? Kasi napapagod na daw siya. Pero pwede rin namang opinion 'yon. Para sa kanya nakakapagod, kasi sa iba baka hindi naman nakakapagod, 'di ba? Hindi na siya na-e-exhaust. So, content tells us what is being talked about before, no? Before natin i-figure out yung mga deeper meaning. Ayan, hindi tayo makakapag-analyze kung walang message at hand, no? Pag may message na, then doon natin makaklasify kung instruction siya, opinions, experience, request, or explanation. So, yun po. Ngayon, pumunta tayo sa communication intent kasi tapos na tayo sa content, no? So, intent is the purpose or reason behind a message. So, ayan. Understanding intent helps decode what a speaker or writer truly means. Kasi may message, pero sabi nga, pwedeng iba-iba yung maging intention, no? Kahit na iisa lang yung message, no? That's why we need to understand the 7 types of communication intent. To inform, to persuade, to request, to apologize, to express feelings, to encourage, and to entertain. Ayan po. Pag to inform, yung sender daw aims to share facts, data, or knowledge. Kaya inform, di ba? Nagpo-provide siya. For example, sabi niya, the meeting starts at 8 a.m. So, meron siyang information na binibigay. It's about the meeting and the time of the meeting. Ang goal po ng to inform is to increase the receiver's understanding of the topic. No? Next one is to persuade. The sender tries to influence the audience. Kapag sinabing persuade, may pag-influensya, no, na nagaganap dyan. Kaya pag sinabi you should join the club, ibig sabihin hinihikayat kanya or hinihimo kanya. No? So to persuade, it means ang persuasive messages kasi parang gumagamit siya ng logic, gumagamit siya ng emotion, no? Ginagamit niya kanyang credibility. Kasi di naman tayo maniniwala, mape-persuade kung walang credibility on the first place yung nagsasalita, no? At saka kung di siya magaling mag-steer ng emotion, hindi rin naman tayo mape-persuade, no? Ayan. And of course, to request. The sender asks the receiver to do something. Para siyang kanina, di ba? Sa request, sa content din siya, kasama siya. No? So, in here, it's another form of communication intent. Ayan. Nag-ask siya ng something. Sabi nga, pwedeng information, pwedeng action. Ayan, no? Kaya sabi niya, can you help me? So, may hinihingi siya, no? So, ang request, pwede siyang direct, pwede rin naman siyang politely indirect. Pwedeng kang di lang puro can, ha? Kasi may mga models na pinag-aaralan, it could be the may. Ayan. Depende kung paano natin gustong pataasin or pababain yung mood, no? To apologize, here, the sender acknowledges a mistake and expresses regret kasi nag-apologize ka, di ba? No, kasama kasi ng pag-apologize yung pagpapakita natin ng regret or pagsisisi. Ayan, may repentance content, di ba? Ayan, sabi niya, I'm sorry for what happened. So, nag-acknowledge siya ng mistake niya. Ayan. So, tatandaan po natin, ang apologize kasi ang intention niya is to repair a relationship, no, with the receiver. Particularly, hindi lang naman basta repair, but to restore yung trust din. Kahit sa daily na usapan, di ba, nagaganap yan. We know, kahit din napaka-explain to apologize. Di ba? Ibig sabihin, you want to mend something that is broken, no? Or you are trying to fix something. To express feelings naman, of course, dahil feelings nga, it's about sharing emotions. It's about sharing your reactions, your personal sentiments. Kaya pag sabi mo, I feel disappointed, malinaw yun. It is an expression of feelings. Iba siya sa apologize, ha? Kasi apologize, you are trying to mend something, may pagsisisi, and you are acknowledging the mistake. So, to express feelings, ang feelings kasi is not just about disappointment. It could be happy, it could be angry, no? Ayan. It could be nostalgia, no? So, to express means you are conveying how the sender feels about a situation or experience. Diba? Personal yung atake niya lalo minsan, no? Ayan. To encourage naman, motivating or inspiring someone to feel confident. Yes, para siyang to persuade, no? Pero in here kasi, ang goal mo to encourage is nagmo-motivate ka. Sa persuade kasi, you want that person to act or to do something, no? Pwedeng may sasalihan siya, ganyan, no? Ayan, pero dito kasi, it's more on, ang nilalaro mo is the emotion ng tao. Ayan, try mo siyang i-motivate, i-lift up, no? Not necessarily kailangan may salihan siya, no? Or umanib siya sa'yo, or mag-agree siya sa'yo. Sa encourage, it's just, you make that person feel comfortable, feel lift up, ayan, no? Motivated, sabi nga, inspired. Ayan, so magkaiba po sila, no? And the last one is to entertain. You are engaging or amusing the audience through humor, storytelling, or creative expression. I have a story, guys. Pwedeng ganun, di ba? Pwede naman, all kidding aside, kasi that's a sign that you are joking, no? Ayun po yung mga pagkakaiba nila. So the goal is to capture attention and bring enjoyment or excitement. Kung kanina yung content is the what, ang intent naman is the why, no, behind a message. It's the reason a person communicates. Bakit siya nakikipag-usap? May intention siya, di ba? Yan, pwedeng manira, di ba? Pwedeng magpaalala, Ayan, sabi nga, pwedeng mag-inform, mag-request. Ayun po yung mga yan, no? Sometimes, yung content is obvious, pero yung intent, it requires a little detective work. Diba? Lalo kung nakasulat lang siya. Kailangan i-process lahat so that you could derive the exact intent, no? Yan. The same sentence kasi can have different intentions depending sa context, no? We should know the context bago tayo mag-jump into conclusion bakit na nasabi yung bagay na iyon. For example ulit, yung friend mo nag-message siya ng, "Are you busy?" So, yung content, question siya, di ba? Ayan. Pero ano kaya ang intent niya? Ba't siya nagtanong ng, "Are you busy?" Diba? Kasi po pwedeng naghihingi pala siya ng tulong. Pwede namang hihiram siya ng notes. Pwede namang i-invite ka niya to go somewhere. Mag-coffee. Ganun, di ba? Coffee as a friend, di ba? Or even, mag-ask siya ng mga relationship advice. Kasi baka mamaya broken-hearted siya, may mga pinagdadaanan, di ba? Kaya when analyzing communication, don't stop doon sa sinabi ng tao. You ask why. No, bakit yun ang sinabi niya? Kasi there's the reason behind. And doon natin nare-reveal ang intent. Discuss natin separate yung dalawa. Now, let's try to match them. Again, content is what is said. No? Intent is why it is said. Ano ang mensahe? Bakit niyon sinabi? Example message ulit tayo. Can you send the file? Ganyan lang siya. No? Diba? Content niya is nagre-request siya ng file. Pero ang intent niya, pwede sa mga, pwedeng ganito siya. Pwedeng nagpapakita ka ng need. No? Need mo yung document urgently for a task or deadline. Pwede namang nagre-remind ka. It could be a reminder that a file was previously requested but not yet received. Parang pwede rin naman siyang follow up. Ito, a follow up on a prior conversation or agreement. Ayan, pwede siyang nagpapakita ka ng concern about missing a deadline or falling behind on work. Diba? So, isa lang yung message, pero iba-iba yung intention. It could show a need, it could show a reminder, it could be a follow-up, it could be a concern. Ayan, no? So, again, ang content, literal meaning ng mensahe, no? Ayan. So, kumbaga, ano to, ang pinopoint sa atin ng part na ito, yung isang message could have different interpretations. Depende sa context, depende sa tone, depende sa relationship mo dun sa kausap mo. Analyzing conversations, we should know who is speaking, what is the topic and purpose, what emotions are present, and what response is expected. Pag nasagot po natin itong mga to, better. No? Ayan. Ibig sabihin, magiging good ang result ng communication. Who is speaking? Kilala mo ba siya or hindi? Diba? Ayan. Gano'n ka-close? Ganyan. What's the topic and purpose? Sabi pinag-uusapan, ba't niya nasabi yun? Tapos, no, anong purpose niya? Ba't niya sinabi yun? Then next, ano yung emotion niya nung sinasabi niya yun? At the same time, ano ba yung tamang maging response doon? No? Ayan. Kaya lagi nasasabi, guard our mouth. No? Yung sinasabi na pag-isipan natin ng makailang beses. Kasi words cut deep. No? Yes. So, when listening to conversations, guys, don't just focus on the words. No? Kasi communication becomes clearer when we understand both the message and the motivation behind it. No? Kagaya kapag, imagine natin, tapos yung friend natin, sinabi niya, it's okay, I don't mind. No? Depende sa tono, di ba? Nag-iiba yun. No? Pero kung sinabi niya yun, avoiding contact, eye contact, di ba? Tapos parang yung tono niya, upset. So parang medyo suspicious, di ba? Kasi parang magkaiba yung words at saka yung message niya, no? Magkaiba yung words at saka yung mood rather, yung emotion. Hindi sila nagtutugma, no? So doon pa mapapaisip ka na, hindi siya okay. Kasi nga upset siya eh. Kagaya nga 'di ba sa mga babae, sabi, pag sinabi nila okay, tingnan mo yung mood niya, tingnan mo yung emotion niya nung sinabi niya yon. Tingnan mo kung ano ba pinag-uusapan. Tingnan mo ano ba yung context. Ba't sinabi yung okay lang? Kasi 'di ba sabi na yung okay ng mga girls, hindi talaga sila okay. Ayan. Effective communicators pay attention to both verbal and emotional cues. And no, kanina analyzing communication, this time analyzing correspondence. Yung mga written, more on business ng pag-correspondence. No, types of correspondence. The correspondence includes letters, emails, text messages, direct messages, and memos, each with its own tone and format. Kapag kasi mabilis mo mong makuha pag in-person communication, no? Kasi dito yung emotions, 'di ba? Dito yung message, pero sa mga correspondence kasi, since letters lang yung mga yan, emails, text, people can hide their emotions, di ba? So, You should also identify the core message, not just the type of correspondence. And the core message is about looking for the main message, the intention, the intended audience, and of course, the desired action the sender wants the reader to take. And the last one, i-analyze natin yung tone at saka yung purpose. Kasi pag binasa mo naman ng buo yun, makukuha mo naman what is the tone and the purpose of the specific correspondence. No? Examining the tone and purpose carefully can help us understand why the message was written reveals as much as the words themselves. No? Ayan. Since hindi natin na-hear yung voice, sabi nga kanina, yung emotion din natin nakikita kasi these are just written or emailed, no? Ayan. Especially ngayon, we are digital na, no? We can make we just simply chat, no? Post, ganun lang, no? Pero di natin nakikita yung emotion talaga ng tao. Wala siyang facial expressions. Napakahalaga na when we analyze their written messages, magbigay tayo ng extra attention, no? For example, kapag yung teacher natin nag-chat siya sa GC, sabi niya, please see me after class. Napaka-simple lang naman ng content, di ba? Pero mag-overthink yung mga students, syempre. Pwede na maisip na, ay, nakipag-away ba ako? Anong problema ko? May problema ba sa akin? Ba't ako gustong makita ni sir or ni ma'am after ng class? Diba? Hindi mapapakalis yung bata. No? Pero, yung isang truth dito, yung intent, hindi kasi siya laging obvious. No? There is the message, pero yung intent, nakatago siya lagi. Nasabi nga natin kanina, reading between the lines. Napaka-importante when we are analyzing correspondence, mga written messages, no? Consider natin yung tone, consider natin yung audience, consider natin yung purpose. Hindi tayo dapat mag-jump into conclusions agad. Siyempre, may iba pang elements sa communication, the verbal and the non-verbal cues. Ayan, para sa verbal, ang common na sinasabi dyan or ginagamit ay mga word choice. Pwede natin yung mga repeated phrases, ba't na inuulit-ulit yon? May pahiwatig siya. Word choice, kapag close kayo, iba yung mga words niya. Pag di kayo close, medyo mas formal siya. Di ba? Mga direct statements niya. Ayan. So, bakit mahalagang tignan yung tatlong yon? Kasi the words chosen reveal the speaker's intent, attitude, and level of certainty. Gaano siya ka-sure. No? Sa non-verbal cues naman, pwede natin tignan yung mga facial expressions. Ayan. Kumukulot ba yung noon niya? Hindi ba siya makapagtingin ng direkta? No? Ayan. What is the gestures? Ayan. No? Paano yung mga kamay niya? Ayan. Yung body language niya, lahat yun may meaning, di ba? At mahalaga rin natin i-consider yung mga non-verbal kasi they confirm, pwede naman they contradict. Pwede sabihin kasi masaya siya, pero hindi mo nakikita sa mukha niya na masaya siya. Di ba? It adds depth or deeper meaning sa mga spoken words. No? Ngayon, kasi yung mga actions natin, they often strengthen o kaya pwede na baguhin yung meaning ng mga salita natin. Di ba? Kaya maganda ka. Pero kasi maganda ka naman. 'Di ba? Tapos tignan mo yung facial expressions niya. 'Di ba? Doon mo makikita yung mismong meaning. So people communicate through words and actions. Tapos sinabi nung tao, I'm fine. Pero nag-avoid siya ng eye contact. Maniwala ka ba na okay lang siya? Siyempre hindi, 'di ba? Kaya yung mga effective na communicators, they read, no, the non-verbal cues also. Hindi lang mga puro verbal, 'di ba? Yeah, the message is often found in a combination of the two. Yan. Yung mga magaling na communicator, nami-mix nila yan. Nagagamit nila yan ng napaka-husay. Kaya minsan, namamanipulate nila yung ibang tao. Bakit nagkakaroon ng misinterpretation in communication? Una, there's the missing context and the assumption. Dahil di na nagigets yung context, nag-a-assume na lang ngayon yung tao. May mga ganun, di ba? Kagaya pag may nabalitaan ka lang ng mga issues, chismis. Hindi mo naman inalam yung totoong context, ba't ganun? Di ba, nag-jump into conclusion, nag-a-assume lang. Sabi dito, without full context or background, assumptions fill the gap, often leading to misreading the speaker's true intent. Pwede nasabi yun. Diba? And of course, the wrong tone and the emotional reactions. Tone can be misread, especially in writing. No? Kasi nga, hindi physically present yung kausap. Emotional reactions cloud judgment and prevent clear understanding. No? Kahit babalikan natin yung word na fine. One word lang yan, pero napakadami ng meaning. Depende sa tone, depende sa context, fine can sound agreeable. Nag-agree ka. Pero pwede rin galit. Fine. Pwede rin disappointed. Fine. Parang no choice ka na lang. Pwede rin sarcastic. Okay, fine. Diba? So misunderstanding happen when people interpret messages differently from what the sender intended. Tandaan po natin yan. Missing context, assumptions, emotions, pag di natin consider yung mga yan, and even yung tone, no, nagkakaroon ngayon ng mga confusions. Clarifying questions and active listening are essential. Napaka-important po nila. Never assume. Ang content and intent dapat malinaw na po sa atin. Content is what and intent refers to why. no? Ayan, content is the message itself, intent is the purpose, no? And understanding both dimensions is essential to truly grasp any form of communication. Yes, hindi po pwedeng yung message lang. Hindi rin naman po pwedeng, di mo naman pwedeng mabuo yung intent without the message. They go together. Pero hindi sila nag-i-interchange, no? Ayan. Context and effective communication, ang context is the shape, or it shapes and affects the meaning of every message. And effective communication requires careful analysis and deep understanding ng lahat ng elements. No? Don't just hear the message, sabi nga, understand the purpose behind it. And our final thought on effective communication, the best communicators do not simply listen to words. They understand the meaning and intention behind them. Ayun po, no? And communication is deeper than simply hearing words or reading messages. Para maintindihan natin ng mas mahusay yung usapan, we need to examine both the content and the intent, no? Basta tandaan po natin, yung taong nakikinig ng mabuti, kino-consider yung context, inoobserbahan yung mga clues or mga pahiwatig on the message, naghahanap ng pagkaklaro, ayan, no? Bago siya mag-react, napaka-effective po niya pag ganun siya, no? In short, don't just receive the message, understand it. Of course, thank you for your attention, and I hope this presentation has deepened your understanding of effective communication and the power of intent, context, and the meaning. No? Ayan. So that's a wrap, mga people. Thank you for joining me in today's lesson on analyzing the content and intent of personal and interpersonal communication. I hope you learned that communication is more than just words. It's about understanding people, emotions, and purpose. So kung na-enjoy nyo po to, don't forget to support the channel, share it, no? Ayan. And you can leave a comment po. See you on our next lesson. Goodbye, people.